I'm just gonna pull up YouTube here.
Hey, you're live with the Toe Bugs. I'm joined by Jeremiah Craig. What's happening, buddy?
How's it going? I'm just pulling up the live chat right now so I can see what everybody else is saying. Thanks for having me on here tonight. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, Jeremiah's got a big announcement coming up, and stick around till the end because I'm going to announce the winners of the Voot Boot Shaper giveaway.
Nice. Yep. We're gonna do that at the end. The Voot Boot Shaper giveaway.
Yeah.
Cool. Those new JWs look sweet, man. Those green ostrich legs.
Yeah, I know.
Is that the Dallas toe that you ended up getting, right?
Yeah, it is.
Isn't that a cool toe?
It is. It's like a wide French toe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks good with double stitch or single stitch. Well, in my opinion. But I was worried, or not worried, but concerned on how green was going to look, but they turned out fantastic. I think
have you found that you have to wear them with any special pants, or it's just like doesn't matter, blue jeans, tan jeans, like whatever?
Yeah, I would wear it with blue, tan, or black, for sure. When I watched the video, my blue jeans, they looked really good in my opinion up against the blue. But I think you could wear khakis or black slacks or cotton pants or whatever.
Yep, no doubt. They're going to be perfect for St. Patrick's Day too.
Yep, for sure. I sent it to my nephew. My nephew's a huge Cowboys fan, and I sent him a picture. I said, check these out. And he goes, looks like something an Eagles fan would wear.
Burn.
Yeah. And I didn't mind because I'm not a Cowboy fan.
There you go. It would be something the Eagles fan would wear with the bird leg too, like on talons and everything.
Yeah,
that would work.
It's a real similar green. I didn't think of that, but when he said it, I was like, yeah, you're probably right. All right, what's up, everybody in chat? How y'all doing?
How's it going, everybody? Rebecca, green is such an underrated boot color. I agree.
I agree too. Now that I have them, I agree. Like I said, I was a little concerned. I've seen some ones I really liked and some that I didn't like so much.
So who sold you on that? Was it Blake's idea? He said, hey, I want to show you this green boot. Or was it your idea? I want a green boot.
It was his. I don't know how. I mean, we're buddies with Blake, so I talk to him all the time. And I guess some conversation we had a long time ago, I'd mentioned that green's my favorite color. And so when he relaunched, he was like, hey, I want to send you some green ostrich legs. And I was like, okay,
That's hard to argue with.
Yeah. He was like, it doesn't have to be green. And it doesn't have to be ostrich leg. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, no, it'd be pretty cool to do something kind of wild. I mean, I've done brown and black to death. So
the green ostrich leg, it reminds, because I always think of ostrich leg as the closest thing to like dinosaur leather looking. And when it's green, it's like definitely dinosaur leather.
Yeah. And it's got, in the video, I was like, I don't even know what to call it, but they look like scales. I don't know if they're scales or what they are, but
those are like Velociraptor boots.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So what boots are you wearing today, Jeremiah?
I was going with the I think they're by the back door now. I went with the Boule 9381 or 9381s.
Okay.
Yeah, they were I think they're on the back door. I just came in.
I did.
Went with the Hondos
2645.
I love those. Those are so cool.
This is one of my favorite boots for sure. And I got a new pair of Hondos in to review.
I got mine in today too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked about it. I love Hondo boots. One of my favorite brands for sure.
Yeah, me too. I'm pumped for this next review with them. When is yours going to be dropping? Like next month or something?
I've got a Ruho boot that I am doing next. I'm going to do my best to get that up this weekend. And then
Lizard?
I'm going out of town next weekend. So
is it the Lizard Ruho?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I'm going out of town next weekend, and I'm going to try my hardest to get the video finished and just schedule it to be released while I'm gone. So that's the plan. But you know, anytime you make a plan, something always seems to happen. But
Yep.
That's what I'm shooting for.
Yep.
So no toe bugs next week.
Yeah. All right. Yep. My Hondo video won't come out until November 2nd.
Okay.
So mine is way off is when I have mine scheduled, but
yeah.
It'll be good to see yours, especially compared to the other green top one because that's what yours is, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You know, Hondos, I mean, I love the boots, but they are such a fantastic value, in my opinion.
I agree.
You know, I mean, you can get most of them for under $300 if you look around on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just think it's really good value out of those for what you get.
Or even in some of the random stores, like if anybody wants to call any of the stores that I visit and the Hondo's there, they're actually sold for cheaper than what a lot of places are online. Like Moss Saddles in Casper, all of their prices are ridiculous. Like they're only marking their stuff up 70% or something like that, when all these other places are doing 100% or more markup.
Yeah.
Because when you buy a pair of Hondos wholesale from Hondo, from Phil, they're like around 140, 150 if you buy them wholesale from Hondo, and then they mark them up, right? Because they got to make money too. That's how
$279 is a pretty common price you see online.
Right. So they pretty much just double it and then take that, because that's how business is. But some of these businesses, they cut their margins really, really thin. And that's why you can find some for like $250 or $230 in some of these places.
Wow. I may have to give them a call.
Yeah. Just ask it. Just call them up and call some of these places where you see me going, or like I'll make a list at some point with all the numbers. If you just call them and ask them what their Hondo prices are, I bet you'll find better deals. I mean, you will have to pay for shipping. Like if you go through Cavender's, free shipping on boots, right? So it's like, what is it going to be worth to you is it going to end up being the same anyways? But does Cavender's even carry the styles that you want?
Exactly. Cavender's is only carrying 4 right now, I think. I think they'll expand that. You know, Cavender's is based out of Texas, and I can't imagine that the Hondos won't sell well at Cavender's here anyway.
Yeah, I think once it catches on that Hondo is back, because Hondos were in Cavender's before, like I guess like way back in the day. And then they stopped for some reason, or at least the people at Cavender's grew up with Hondos in the stores that they went to before they started Cavender's. So it's like a nostalgic thing to have Hondos in Cavender's again. At least that's what Phil was telling me.
Yeah.
And so I think that once people realize the value that they can get at Cavender's, that Hondo is there, that it's just going to be incredible for Hondo. Like, you know how we talk about brands to look forward to in the next year? Hondo is definitely making my list for next year. Like the moves that Phil made this year is so crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if Hondo ends up being on a lot more big brand radar, just as a major threat competitively here in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Mark Dodson asks how they fit. In my experience, they're pretty true to size. I will say though, my left foot, I have a high instep, and brand new, they're a little snug across my instep, but they've stretched, and they fit perfect now.
Yep. I have had the same experience. Pretty true to size on my end too. The 12B, awesome. The new ones that I got are 11.5B because they're a square toe. Okay. So I've had to size down, and it is a really snug fit, but again, it will stretch. Yeah. So that's my preference, is to get the snug fit so that it stretches to be comfortable, or to be nice and well fitting. That's just what I like. I know some people don't. So take that information and do with it what you will, I guess.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I prefer it to be a little snug at first rather than a little loose. because the loose is never going to go away.
Yep.
So
Carol, yes, they do carry. There are women's Hondo boots.
mm-hmm.
In fact, Carter's Boots, cartersboots.com in Bozeman, Montana has a bunch of women's Hondo boots. And actually, when I was there, I did a video about the Hondo shark boot that they have there. And there was a college girl there with her boyfriend shopping. She ended up buying a Hondo while we were there. Like while Phil was in the store, some random girl came in and bought a Hondo like that. It was perfect. So if you actually go to cartersboots.com, I've been talking with them, and I'm going to be working with them on the Hondo video that I'm working with Phil on too, sort of bringing them in. Ended up getting a promo code with Carter's Boots, so you can save 10% on Hondos now at cartersboots.com when you use my promo code, and they do carry women's boots. So it looks like we're going to be doing a women's Hondo boot review on my channel here soon too.
Awesome. You know, one of the well, in my opinion, one of the cool things, I guess it depends on how you look at it, but you can go to Hondo's website and they have, you know, all of their boots listed, but the retailers can order them differently to whatever specs they want. So depending on the retailer, you can find slight variations of the same boot, or it could be something totally different than what you see on Phil's website.
Yeah, they could just make them up right there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the person that does that the most, there was 2 places on tour that did that the most, that have the most unique Hondos. Pete's Clothing Hodge Bootery. When we went there, usually Phil was waiting for me to finish up doing the videos. At that place, I was waiting for him to finish up with the owners, because every time he visits, they make their own pairs. Like they're like, I want this top, I want this kind of leather, I want this kind of toe shape, I want this kind of heel, I want this kind of spur up, I want it to be this tall, and it's like this stitch pattern. So basically, they're building the boot right there. Wow. And that happened at Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery, and also Moss Saddles Boots and Tack. It happened there too. So both of those places carry extremely unique Hondos. That's awesome. That you can't find anywhere else.
Right. Yeah, I ran into one when I was in the stockyards that is not on Phil's website, and it was so cool, but it didn't fit, and they didn't have a half size smaller. I was pretty bummed. And I think I told Lucas about it, and so he called him. And anyways, it's going to be after the first of the year before they get a restock on them. Mm-hmm. I told him about it. He's like, "Oh man, I want those."
Oh, they're not the black roughouts, are they?
No, it was a black bull hide with a red toe bug and a white top with red stitching.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool. It's the kind of narrow square toe that they do.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was they were slick, man. I was pretty bummed.
Yeah, that is a bummer
Carol,
moment.
Also, the Hondo women's boots, most of them have the tall tops. I mean, they look very similar to men's boots, the ones that I've seen. So
the ones on cartersboots.com, though, have a lot of embroidery and different kinds of more elaborate stitch patterns that you would classify as more feminine, if that's what you were looking for. I know some people don't like that, like Brenna, my wife. She doesn't want that. She just wants the same sort of boot that the men have too, just plain old thing. Yeah. But they do have those sort of embroidery patterns that some would classify as more feminine too.
Yeah. Oh, all right. What do you guys want to know in chat? We're here to answer questions. We're kind of winging it tonight.
Winging it, and then I got some news to drop on you guys. Yeah. So whenever you guys are ready
to do that, you get the floor, man.
It's all you. You're the boss here. You're the boot boss.
All right, let's see if we get a couple of questions.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the rest of this year. By the way, I'll say this while we're waiting for any questions to come in or topics, is that today I did pretty much finalize another boot giveaway, which means that I have one every month for the rest of the year now. So awesome. It's done. This year we filled the rest of it, and the last one will be mind-blowing.
Nice.
It will be mind-blowing. So after this Los Altos Python one that finishes next week, have another one. And then after that one, I'll have another one for November, and then I'll have another one for December. So we're finishing it out strong. Boot Boss. That's right, Jim Collins. Ha
All right, guys, come on. Hit us up.
Are you ready for me to drop the news? I'll drop the news, and I'm sure we'll get some I'm sure we'll get some comments here.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, guys. Okay, guys, so this is what I got for you. Exclusive to Toe Bugs right now, because everybody else will know tomorrow morning when the video goes on my channel, but this is exclusive to Toe Bugs. So everybody here, this is why you are on Nick's show. I am doing a collab with BNV Boots. Jose Chavez is making this boot for anybody who wants it, but we're only making 20 pairs. So we're doing a very limited run collaboration of this boot exactly. Water Buffalo Calf with the logo inlay here, chocolate top Water Buffalo Calf, cognac foot Water Buffalo Calf, but you also get to choose what toe shape you want. So if you don't want the J toe, you can choose from 4 different styles. You can choose from the J toe, the R toe, a 1-inch box toe, if you were more interested in a square sort of thing, or a roper style with a shorter heel and a shorter top. I can actually pull up what it looks like if you guys want to see. We're only going to make 20 of them. So these are going to go fast. And this is probably the most requested boot that people ask about. So here, let me share my screen with you guys, and I can show you exactly what you'll see here. You can go to jeremiahcraig.com/BNV, and I'm going to take it, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So here is what it looks like. So in order to keep the price as low as possible, we didn't make styles for each one. We made sketches. So all these sketches are made by Isoban, the same guy who did Life is for Taking Chances album art. So we got the J toe. This is what the R toe model will look like, and you can see the close up of the toe. You got the 1-inch box toe here, and you have the roper boot, which is of course a little bit shorter too. So we're selling this boot for $550, and it's a crazy good deal because Blackjack and Lucchese, both El Paso boot companies too, they're selling their Water Buffalo Calf boots for either $800 or $1,000 plus. And that's because I'm not taking nearly as much of a percentage as they do. Like we were talking before, Hondo sells their boots wholesale for $140, like the just the bovine ones, right? And then they leave it to the retailers to mark that up. I'm not marking it up barely at all. So I'm just marking it up enough to make some of it back of all the work and everything, and then also paying Isoban for this. So this is a 20 pair collaboration if you guys are interested in getting in on it. And I can show you what the first one looks like, because of course we had to do one first, and you guys probably know who ended up getting the first one. He actually sort of pushed me to it. Mr. Lucas White ended up getting the first one. Here, I'll show you what his looks like, because he chose the R toe. So here's the Arto, and you can see that it will have the inlay in the front, and it will not have the inlay in the back though, like mine do. So here's another picture of it with him wearing it. If that's coming through.
Yeah, very cool.
So we're launching this tomorrow. And on the inside, it will have the numbers on the inside. And I'm really excited about it because this is the first collaboration. Of course, it's super limited. And like, if you guys, I say it in my video tomorrow. If you guys believe in me at all, like this first collaboration is going to be a big deal, because going from 80 subscribers to 19,000 subscribers in 3 years is incredible. You guys are amazing. Love you guys so much. But at the end of the day, I'm still getting started with this. So if you guys believe in me at all and you're looking to like get in on something special, this is something special right here. That if you really think that my channel could get huge in the future, then they might be collector's items, and 5, 10, 15 years down the road, people will be looking back on it and wish they could have one. But it's the only time we're doing this style. Only time. I'm never going to do this style ever again. I'm not saying I won't do another collab again, but never do those color combinations ever again.
Yeah,
so
those are slick.
It's going to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to launching it. And if I sell out in the first 2 weeks, then the engraving or this inlay will actually be cut out by laser by Twisted Wheel Fabrication. So, but we got to make it worth it. So that way they can send the leather back and forth to each other as economically as possible. So it would be fun to also get Twisted Wheel Fabrication in on that too if we sell out in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, man. That's a big deal.
Thank you. And if anybody has any questions on it, or wants to know more or anything, like if you want to yell at me for something on it, totally just let me know. Let's chat it up. I want to make sure that everybody feels as comfortable or has all the information that they need with it.
Yeah. Carol wanted to know what I have planned. So I am doing a giveaway for a pair of Hondos when I do the Hondo review.
Nice.
And I have a giveaway coming up with Ruho sometime in the near future. They, not just them, a lot of companies are having big supply chain issues coming out of Mexico. And so Ruho has a ton of styles that they're going to release, new styles, but they're coming like one at a time, and it's real slow just because the supply chain's so messed up. And I talked to the girls over at Heritage Boot Company, and they're having the same problem. They said their stock is really low right now because they just can't get the boots in.
Yep, it's tough. Even with stores, like I called a store because I'm going to be traveling this weekend and I wanted to stop through, so I called them ahead of time just to make sure, because I know that's a problem with many stores across the country, and they're like, our stock is so low, we can't handle any extra attention.
Yeah,
like it's actually kind of a shame that they're not able to get enough boots in to actually sell, because they're worried about putting their customers in a difficult situation. So it's really a weird time where people's interest in boots are through the roof, but nobody can get the supply in.
Yeah. Hey, Carol, one other thing I forgot to mention. In a couple of weeks, the Boot Mavens are going to join us on the Toe Bugs. So you guys will get to talk to Allie and Kimber, and they're a hoot, man. They're really fun. So everybody look forward to that.
They are cool. Tino Netters. Will there be a Afterpay option on the purchase? Tino, that's one of the reasons why they're launching this week rather than next week, is because I tried so freaking hard to get that Afterpay. They never responded to me. They never did. I wanted to get the Afterpay on the Shopify. But it didn't come. I think I'm too small. I think I'm too small right now for them to want to work with me. It might come through. I hope it does. I'll try to reach back out again and see what they say, because I want there to be an Afterpay option, because I know the $550 is quite an investment, but it's like the cheapest that I could go with it. So I'm going to try my best, but as of right now, I would say the probability of Afterpay actually coming through on that is extremely low.
Are they going to order those on your website or through BNV?
It's on my website. So all you got to do is go to jeremiahcraig.com/BNV, and it will take you right to that that page that you saw that I shared my screen. And then you buy them, and I will contact you after that to ask you what size, or if you want to measure your foot. So if you also go to that page, you can find Jose Chavez's at BNV Boots, his measurement sheet. And then you measure your foot, or actually have somebody help you measure your foot with your sock on, because he wants you to take the measurements while you're standing up, so that he can take those measurements and find the best last, or build up a last just enough. Like, he's not going to build it up to have any like extra arch things or anything, but he'll basically, if it's a little bit wider than a D but not quite an E, he'll basically wrap the last in a piece of leather so it's just a little bit wider. And that's another crazy value that you get, is that you actually know when you get the boot that it will fit, because you sent the measurements to Jose and he used those measurements to either build up a last or to find the perfect last for you.
Right. Mark Dodson, what's the problem getting things across the border? I am not real sure. Do you know, Jeremiah?
Blake has told me that Leon has become a new place for the cartel and stuff, and that's created a lot of tension with the cartel trying to find ways to get their products out. So from what Blake has told me, he says that law enforcement has really cracked down on what's going in and what's going out.
Gotcha.
And he has actually had to hire a broker to watch law enforcement go through his stuff, his boots and his packages, because when they go through it, they ruin it sometimes. So not only are they taking up extra time, but they're actually ruining products while they look for drugs and things like that that people are trying to smuggle into the country. On top of that, you also have COVID and the amount of people that you can actually fit into a factory. So the big factories where a lot of these companies are getting their boots made, like Ruho, like Tecovas, like the big ones, they are working with factories that that people come through, I guess the law enforcement too, they also come through and say, you have too many people in here that are too close together for this specific time of day. So that means they can't have as many people working, but they still have to pay them all the same. So they're not able to produce as much, and then they're not able to ship it all out. And then they still have the same orders from everybody. So it's really like a perfect storm of, I guess, the cartel and then the laws of COVID, that between social distancing and how many people you can have in a factory at any one time. It's really messing everything up down there, I guess.
Kevin Odom says, so once again, we get punished because of criminals.
Yeah, right.
I guess that's one way to look at it.
It happens, I guess, but we're getting past that. I think it's a perfect storm. If they weren't trying to do it at the same time as COVID, then it probably wouldn't be as big of a deal. But because those factories can't have, like, they're half staffed all the time, then they can only make half the boots. And that's a huge problem, because they still have 100% of the orders. Yeah. So, I mean, that's why so many people are behind on getting their orders in. Yeah. But some of the companies, some of the boots do work with smaller factories that are off the radar. So that's why you see companies like the really, really cheap brands, or maybe Chisos too. Some of these companies who work with smaller factories or smaller places, like apparently some people just use their houses as places to make boots in Mexico, like on a large scale, or larger than what you would expect. And of course, no law enforcement is going to be going through there. So it's like a weird, really weird situation where you got to be big enough, and if you're big enough, then you're punished, or you can slide under the radar.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think about cartels moving in there. I think Blake did tell me that a while ago, and I forgot. All right, so what else y'all want to know?
Jim Collins is congratulating you on your YouTube subscription. Congrats on going over 1,000. How's that feeling?
Feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Feels good. Not making much money yet, but hey, something's better than nothing.
Right. It comes slow, but once eventually it'll be like, oh wow, that's actually a nice amount this month. Yeah. All right, let's do this.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, it's not terrible. It's honestly more than what I thought it would be this soon.
And just wait until October, November, and December. Okay. That is the best, because then you actually have people searching for it, and because more people are online, supply and demand of ads before videos goes up, which means the price goes up too, and we get paid more. Oh, sweet. So everybody watching right now, when you watch videos during October, November, and December and click on the ads before our videos, we will get paid twice as much as usual. So please click on the ads, even if you don't like the thing that's unless you really don't want the cookies on your browser. It helps us out a lot if you guys click on those ads before the videos, or in the middle of videos or whatever. Probably in the middle. You wouldn't want to click on them in the middle, because it's like, I want to finish the video first. But right before you start, if you click on those ads, damn, that pays us quite a bit.
Dodson wants to know if there's perks associated with more subscribers. Well, money for one.
It's like a gate. So once you get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours viewed, then you get to monetize your channel.
Yeah.
And you get some more perks like that. And then after that, like, they slowly open up when they feel like it. I don't know exactly, but it's like, do you have super chat yet, Nick?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So yeah, once you get to 1,000, it's like, I guess you're a YouTube partner now. Let's go.
Yeah. Rebecca Geitz asks both of us, why did we start a YouTube channel about cowboy boots? I'll let you go first.
I started a channel on cowboy boots because I wanted people to hear my music. It comes down to that, and it sounds like a really dick reason when you say it that fast, but I was trying to get people to listen to my music for years, since 2009, when I was in a band in college, and I would record music at the studio, do everything that they tell you to do, go on tour. Eventually, my bandmates graduated college, and so did I, and we all went our own separate ways, but I wanted to keep doing music, so I went solo, and I kept doing the same thing, recording music, going on tour, but it was never enough. And during all that time, I was wearing boots. I was wearing these boots right here. So it's not like I just said, oh, I guess I'm going to do a channel about cowboy boots out of the blue. Like, I was wearing boots, but I just didn't think anybody cared that I was wearing boots. So around 2016, I was touring, and it was just like, I can't make enough money doing this. And then I had to go back to work doing marketing and content and social media, basically the same stuff that I do on YouTube, except for somebody else. So eventually I was like, I'm making all of these marketing strategies that are super cheap for our clients, are businesses that are hiring the agency to do the social media. Why don't I just try it out on myself? So I started doing some keyword research about the things that I'm interested in, or things that my wife is interested in, like wine or comic books or hunting or knives, things like that. And then I looked down at my feet. I was like, oh, let me search cowboy boots. And the data looked good. Like the data said that there were so few people actually making content on it, but a lot of people searching for it. And the majority of things that came up when I searched for cowboy boots in Google and YouTube were just people trying to sell boots. And I was like, there's something here where people just want to see cowboy boots, or want to learn about cowboy boots, or just want to be influenced to wear them without being forced to buy them all the time. So I tried it, and that's why I did it. And I put my music in there as a sort of a, if you're into this, that's cool. If you're not, then you don't have to listen to the music. So that's what it came down to for me.
Yeah. For me, it was, I don't know, kind of a weird progression. Basically, I had joined Jeremiah's group on Facebook and a couple others, and I had watched a lot of Jeremiah's videos. But I ended up ordering a pair of boots from JW Boot Company. And when I got them, he asked me if I would do a short video that he could, a review video that he could put on his website. And it was terrible. I mean, it was bad.
Those first ones always are.
That was right when COVID hit, and I had nothing to do, and I was working from home, and we couldn't leave the house. We couldn't do anything. So I was like, well, I guess I'll do another one, and it was a little bit better, and they got a little bit better as I went. And, and I decided it was kind of fun as a hobby. And, I mean, Jeremiah, the more you do, the more you learn about it, about the boots and everything. So it just kind of, I don't know, it just became fun, and I enjoyed doing it. So I stuck with it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you stuck with it too. It's nice to have somebody else doing it regularly too. I mean, you also got a few others too doing it.
Yeah.
We don't talk as much as you and me talk, but it's nice to definitely have you doing it too. It's a blast.
Yeah, it is. And it's fun, collaborating with all you guys, on the toe bugs or giveaways or whatever. It's just fun. It's a good community, and I decided, I really enjoy filming and editing videos and things like that. And like I said, I get better with every one. Well, I like to think I get better with every one. Sometimes I'll have to put one out that I'm not real happy with, but
we all do. Yep.
That's just part of it.
Yep. Totally.
Spongy D. That's my best friend. So
he was in the Spurs and Crocs video, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Hey, Spongy. All
right.
What are you doing for Halloween, Nick?
Huh?
Spongy asks you what you doing for Halloween.
He knows what I'm doing. I'm going as Hulk Hogan, and I'm headed to his house for a party.
Nice.
He's going to be Nacho Libre. And my wife's going to be Ric Flair.
Nice. That's funny.
All right. Any more questions, guys?
How about the one from Mike there? How do you decide which boot to wear?
I don't really have a system or anything. I have my favorites that I wear more than others. And I'm on the boot front, I'm really looking forward to getting back into the office where I can, get out of the house. I mean, most days I don't leave the house. So I just put on, some of my more comfortable boots. But when I go back in the office, I'll be able to rotate through all my exotics and everything, So I don't really have a system. I just have my favorites that I wear more than others, but I try to rotate them in and out as much as I can.
Do you know when the office will open back up, or do you think that they might stay remote forever?
I don't. Well, they keep pushing it back. I mean, it was March, and then it was September, and now it's November 1st. I would be surprised if we go back before the first of the year, but I think they would go full-time from home, except right when COVID hit, they had just signed a new 5-year lease on the building. So because of that, they may send us back. I don't know. If it wasn't for that, I think they would just stick to it full-time, because we get just as much, if not more, done working from home than we do in the office.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I'm in the office, it's whether it's work related or not, there's always somebody in my cubicle talking to me about something where I can't, focus on what I'm trying to do. And working from home, I just lock myself in my room and, sit here for 7 or 8 hours and get a bunch done.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I noticed that I wore, exotics a lot more when there wasn't COVID. I like the smooth leathers right now because most of the time when I'm out and about, like the Arboretum or like helping somebody do something where I don't, it's like doesn't make sense to wear an exotic, like helping my brothers or my parents or something like that. So it's usually I just choose based off of rotation and what the most durable leather is that I wouldn't mind if it got scuffed. I don't want to scuff up a snakeskin. Right. I don't want to scuff up a caiman or anything. But the elephants, I'm all about, like, they're not getting scuffed. So
right.
It's all good.
So Spongy D wants to know your boot that has the most wow factor to it.
Mine?
Yeah, well, both of us. I'll go first. Spongy, mine are these new JW Boot Company green ostrich legs. I haven't even worn them outside of the house yet. I need to do that.
I think it depends on wow. Are we talking about like, sorry, I didn't mean, those are definitely wow factor. I didn't mean it depends on your boot. Like, I'm not sure that really depends if those are wow factors. No, I'm talking about for me. I would have to say like maybe one of my cheapest finds is definitely the most wow worthy because it's just so different from what you usually see. The Red J Chisholms.
Yeah.
Like these are pretty wow factor. Yeah. Like people will definitely think one thing or another if they see you wearing them without any context. So those are pretty wow for me. But other than that, probably the blackjack boots, blackjack rattlesnake. Those are pretty wow too. Yeah.
I tell you what, those JWs you had that are like blood red, the Caimans. Those are pretty cool too.
Those are wow factors. Those are up there. Yeah. I had to put them away for a little bit with everything else that's going on. But yeah, I got to pull those down and start wearing those again. I like those. I like those a lot.
Spongy wants to know what instruments you play, Jeremiah.
I play the guitar, the harmonica, and the banjo, and I sing and I write all my songs too.
Yeah, he's a great songwriter.
Thank you. You want to see the blackjack rattlesnakes? I can do that. Yeah. 1 second. Let me move some of this stuff.
I think your room is like mine. It's like got shit everywhere.
It's so messy in here.
I know.
Here's the blackjack rattlesnakes right here. 7-toe.
So badass. How are you? My blackjacks, these ostrich that I have.
Nice.
It's a 7-toe or V-toe is what they call it.
They're V-toe.
And it's like the opposite of Hondos, where the Hondo is snug around the top of my foot and a little bit hard to pull on at first. The blackjacks go on really easy for me.
Me too.
Yeah. I think they just have a higher instep on them.
I think they do too. Because I'm doing another video on a pair of blackjacks here coming up in October. And it's pretty badass. And I ordered a half size lower than what I did on these. Mm-hmm. Because these these do run a little bit big, it feels like.
I got a 10.5 in them, and I normally wear an 11 in most brands. But even with the 10.5, when they're on, they don't feel too big, but my foot slides in them really easy. Whereas other brands, sometimes you really got to work it.
Yeah. Like the 11.5B Hondo that I got, super snug. 11.5, 11.5 Blackjack, like similar square toe. It was kind of same. It's a little bit more narrow, but only at the end. It's much looser, much roomier, and it shouldn't be, because it is a more narrow square than an actual wide square. So I would agree that they do run just a little bit big.
Yeah. And you get that from brand to brand. I mean, we talk about true to size, but most of the brands fit a little bit different in one way or the other.
Spongy, I want to wear those boots every day. I want to wear these rattlesnakes every day. Trust me. So
Mike
awesome.
K wants to know, do you condition brand new boots as soon as you get them, or do you usually wear them for a bit first?
It depends. What do you do?
Me? I am the worst about conditioning my boots. I normally don't, unless I can tell they're really dry or something. If it's a Cayman, I won't say usually. If it's a Cayman, I'm more likely to do it right off the bat, just because I know in between the scales, they're prone to cracking. But I don't condition as much as I should, and I most of the time don't condition them when they're brand new.
Sometimes snakeskin, definitely. 100% condition first thing, because like when you get a snakeskin, whenever I've had a snakeskin out of the box, it's always super dry. Like, it's like, wow, I need to condition this right away. Like almost to the point where I'm scared to even put it on. So I always like to condition the snakeskins first, but on the smooth leather, on the cowhide ones, sometimes I won't even do it at all. Like on Ariat, I also think about what you guys do. So if you guys don't usually do that, or people don't usually do that, then sometimes I won't too, just to see how it holds up. So that I can talk about that. If I'm always conditioning the boot right out of the box, and you guys have an experience where it cracks or something weird happens and you didn't do that, then I need to be in your same perspective. So a boot shouldn't need to be conditioned right out of the box. So sometimes on the Ariats, I won't condition them at all. Not until like after winter. Like on the Ariat Heritage Artos that I did recently, I didn't condition those at all out of the box. But if you really care about a boot that you got and you want it to last a long time, condition it out of the box for sure.
You should. I'm just bad about it. And I'll say this, as far as Ariats go, I mean, say what you want about them, but they're some of the toughest boots around, in my opinion. I mean, the leather's super thick and the soles last forever. So if there was ever a boot that you shouldn't worry about conditioning all the time, it's probably an Ariat.
Yeah. And that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard some people be like, I've never conditioned this Ariat for 5 years. And it looks worn and dry, but it's not cracked.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. They're not my favorite brand by any means, but I don't hate them either. I think they serve a purpose.
I think the boots serve a purpose, and say what you want about made in China, but you also got to see that they're bringing that money back into the United States. They're sponsoring events. They're sponsoring athletes. They're sponsoring content creators. Both me and Nick have been sponsored by Ariat. They sponsor special donation events. They bring that money back.
Not only that, but they pretty much keep a lot of businesses in business, because Ariats, we're kind of all in a niche group here, but the mass majority of people buy a ton of Ariat boots. And, and I want to say this too, made in China, but it's not cheap Chinese crap most of the time. I mean, they're made fairly well. I mean, it's not a Lucchese or a Blackjack, but it's not an Alpha Western wear either.
And where do you want a company where the founder used to work at a sneaker company? Where do you want them to make the boots? I mean, that's all they know. That's all they knew, like, is to go to China to get the stuff made. So I can't hate it. As far as I'm concerned, it's a global economy, and they're taking advantage of it. And I got to respect them for bringing that money back, especially for sponsoring my channel and letting me say whatever the hell I want about them.
Right.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because every time I do a video about them, I'm like, this is not the best boot, but here's like the benefits of it. And they're like, this was an awesome video, Jeremiah. Thank you so much.
I know.
I'm like really?
You can totally rip them and they're not going to cut you off.
They're really cool.
Spongy, we have not met in real life.
Nope.
I'm in Texas. Jeremiah's in Boston, correct?
Yep. The only person I've met in real life that's been on the Toe Bugs is Phil.
Yeah.
And that was only a couple months ago that I met him in real life.
However, if that summit happens, we might.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be, and I might be able to get down there on somebody else's dime too. So we'll have to talk about this in the future.
Cool. Yeah.
So we might be able to do it.
All right, guys, I'm going to go to the Voot Boot Shaper giveaway at this time.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to share my screen. Is that showing up, Jeremiah?
I don't see it.
You don't see it. What about now? What's going on? Should be showing it. Why is it not showing? Oh, here we go. Because I'm an idiot. That's why. All right. Can you see it now?
We got it.
Okay. So here is everybody who entered the contest correctly.
Whoa.
And we're giving away 3 pairs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit randomize one time and the top 3 people win. If for some reason somebody doesn't get a hold of me, we'll just start working down the list. So 1, 2, 3, here we go. Wheels and Levers, Carol Burgess, and Winston Mogul.
Yo.
All right. So you guys email me at lonestarboot.reviews@gmail.com and send me your shipping information, and I will forward that over to Voot Boot Shapers, and they will ship them out from their warehouse.
Nice. Congrats, everybody. Congrats. Carol.
All right. You got a pair of those, didn't you, with your JWs?
Yeah, I keep them in my blackjacks, though.
Okay. How do you like them?
They're awesome. They do exactly what they need to.
Yeah. And I had bought some of the cheap ones from Amazon. And I'll tell you why the Voot Boot Shapers are better is because 1, they're stiffer. And 2, they wrap all the way around on the back side of the shaft as well, where the Amazon ones are half as wide as that, and they only cover the front. So you really would need to use 2 of them to get the same effect as one Voot Boot Shaper.
And you just stick them in there.
Yep.
And bam. And it just stays upright.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those boots that I didn't want to sag.
Right.
I also have to get boot tree in here.
Yeah.
I also want to get those. So there's actually a factory up here in the Northeast that makes some of the most used boot trees.
Oh, okay.
In the country. So I think I'm going to try to set up a visit and a tour with them. And I think that might be kind of an interesting video. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Cool. Would anybody be interested in that? Anybody watching? You think that would be interesting? I never know.
I'd be interested. I think it's cool.
All right, then I'll do it.
I'll tell you what, those Voots are really good for traveling too. If you need to throw them in a duffel bag or a suitcase or something, and you've got clothes laying on top of them, you're not going to have them crease flat, your shafts. I hate that. I hate that worse than sagging.
Oh yeah. And then
your jeans take them out like this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or they flatten so much that eventually they really start to fall over.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to end it for tonight, guys. I appreciate all y'all stopping by. Thank you, Jeremiah. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Nick, for having me on here and letting me do a sneak peek on the news that's dropping tomorrow. If anybody wants to go to that Jeremiah Craig BMV, it is open and ready to order. Awesome. I just won't be pushing it hard until tomorrow.
All right. So you guys can get in first. All right. Well, we will see y'all on the next one. No toe bugs next week. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. Take it easy.
See ya.
All right, cool.